Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we got a very interesting show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't, please be sure to hit all notifications to be notified the second we publish our content. Let me get into this topic here. Stephen A. Smith is not letting up on LeBron's ass right now. Like, he is not stopping. Like, he is not letting up. He's really going at him. And this really all kicked off on Monday on ESPN First Take, where he just absolutely obliterated LeBron James all over the damn television screen, calling him out for his antics, for getting people approached that don't share his views, his this fetish that he has for controlling it. He called it all out, and he didn't stop, because as you guys know, I think he usually films the show in the morning, and then after that he films his podcast. And then what happened? So yesterday he published the show on his podcast, the Stephen A. Smith show, where he then decided to take it a step further and really get into his thoughts and views and opinions on Darvin Ham being fired and some of the things that LeBron has done and has been doing over his career that just really irk him about LeBron James. And I'm surprised, because he's not letting up. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Stephen A. Smith had to say on the Stephen A. Smith show today, excuse me. And then we're going to come back and react to his comments, really get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Why am I asking these questions about LeBron? Because we got to stop acting. Ladies and gentlemen, is LeBron James worthy of the GOAT conversation or not? For me, it's MJ all day, every day. But for some of you young whippersnappers, breath smelling like Similac, wet behind the ears, who don't know no damn better, of course you're going to say LeBron James. Fine. Are you willing to concede that if we're having a conversation about who the true GOAT is, that some level of accountability must come with it? When has LeBron James spoken up for a coach? Remember how Michael Jordan was like, when Phil's gone, I'm gone. You ain't get rid of him. Remember how Patrick Ewing used to stick up for Jeff Van Gundy? Remember how Alonzo Mourning stuck up for Pat Riley? Remember that? Remember that? Now, I notice a pattern, and one could easily argue that, the white coaches get stuck up for. We ain't hear about brothers being stuck up for. Okay, that's a different subject for another day. That's not necessarily applicable here, just worth noting from a curiosity standpoint. But here's my point about LeBron James. How can you be on a Mount Rushmore of basketball and be completely innocent at the same time for every coach that gets let go under your watch? How is that possible? How? I mean, you listen to Rich Paul and these folks in his camp. What? Why don't you just put a turban or something around LeBron James and call him Gandhi? Does he do anything wrong? Does he? When I get a little nervous, I go to the toilet. You see other people do stuff all the time. They pass gas. They burp. Sometimes, not me, but I've been around people who clearly forgot to take a damn shower or preferred not to. They stink. Or they might take a shower and think their soap is refreshing to everybody else as they may believe it is to them. Don't put on no damn deodorant, and they still stink. We're human beings. Happens. Except if you're LeBron James. It's never that. Never. Coach come, coach go. Nothing to do with you. Rob Pelinka, running the Los Angeles Lakers, having just won a championship in a bubble, I guess he was the one that said, we really want Russell Westbrook here. And we want to trade away Kyle Kuzma and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and let Alex Caruso walk out the door to the Chicago Bulls for nothing. I guess Rob Pelinka did that all by himself. LeBron James had nothing to do with it. Anthony Davis had nothing to do with it. Come on, y'all. It's not a crime if you did. The crime is acting like you have nothing to do with these things. I can tell you this for a fact. Let me tell you something about this woman, Jeannie Buss, the board of governor for the Los Angeles Lakers, part owner. a wonderful woman with a beautiful soul. Let me tell you something about Jeannie Buss. There is nothing more important to her than keeping LeBron James happy. Absolutely, positively nothing. Not Pelinka, not any of the players, not any of the coaches. I mean, she does, listen, better not mess with Linda Rambis. Jeannie ain't having that. And damn it, I might fight you too, because I've grown to love Linda. Okay? But that's about the only safe person with Jeannie Buss. No one else is untouchable with her. But LeBron James. He gonna get his 3-year extension. He gonna get his money. Hell, if he wants them to, they'll grab Bronny.
So you heard what he had to say. Let me tell you guys what I think is taking place here. And Stephen A. Smith alluded to this a few weeks ago. I think that Stephen A. Smith is taking it upon himself to fight this thing that LeBron likes to do, which is controlling the narrative. And he pointed it out on the Stephen A. Smith show after we got the word that LeBron and JJ Redick were coming out with the show Mind the Game. He said that he believes that the reason they're actually producing this show together is that LeBron wants to have a show where he can go out there and essentially rewrite history. And that's what he has been doing. That is essentially what he has been trying to do. He now is trying to go back and retroactively change history. He did it with what happened with the title that they lost in 2011. Oh no, we needed more help and all of this. Then he now tried to go back and talk about why he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Basically, he's trying to rewrite the way we think about the events that occurred in the past. And he knows he has an army of gullible fans that will go back, hear what he had to say. And, well, now that you think about it, I mean, LeBron should have won an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. And some of these guys would be like, well, I mean, he should have. So therefore, you know what? F it. I'm going to count it that he won it anyway. Even though he ain't win it, LeBron thought he should have won it, so he won it. We're going to count it anyway because we just cannot stop twerking. We must twerk. We have to twerk. It has been programmed in us to twerk it up all over the goddamn place and knock over people's drink. We must do this. And Stephen A. Smith, I believe, is combating this. I think that he is making it his business to push back on this. Do you also remember the time when Stephen A. Smith told Rich Paul to get the F out of his face? When he said that he has LeBron ranked number 2 all time. And Rich Paul said that's disrespectful when he told him to get the F out of my face on the Paul George podcast. These people actually approach you if you don't have their view. Like, they'd be coming up to you trying to convince you. They want it to be uniform across the entire sports media landscape, especially in big media, that all of these people up there on TV saying that LeBron is the GOAT. We know this. Nick Wright is represented by Clutch Sports. You know this. Shannon Sharp has a very close relationship with those guys. That's why he's saying what he's saying. Who's left? Who's left? They want it to be uniformity across the board. And I believe that Stephen A. Smith is beginning to get annoyed with this. And he's beginning to push back on this because he has had enough. He has had enough. And he's like, I cannot stomach this much longer. I have to say something to stop these guys from once again trying to steal the narrative and rewrite history. People are tired. People are tired. I know some of you guys aren't, but a lot of people are exhausted with this. A lot of people are exhausted. For whatever reason, LeBron he will not relinquish the limelight. At this particular point, I don't even know why LeBron is playing at this point. Because his chances of winning a championship are very slim. And I just thought about something. You notice that the Minnesota Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets, right? And you notice the Denver Nuggets beat the Lakers in 5, but some of those games they struggled. What that tells me is a few things. Number one, Denver may not be as good as they were last year. And number two, the Lakers had no chance. They had absolutely no chance whatsoever. None whatsoever. That is what this is telling me. That's what it looks like to me. So Stephen A. Smith seems to be on a crusade and he has enough FU money to do it. So go ahead, my brother, and do it.